Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back. In this video, I have brand new product from Concord and Ninth that they sent over to me. It is so cute. I love the cherries. I have an embossing folder. I have some sentiment stamps, which have the cutest sentiments. Your cherry nice, which is so cute. And then I have some dies, which we're going to play around with because you can make some really cute little cherries. I love these. Oh, they're so cute. So what we are going to do is we're going to play around with this color palette here. I am going to do a really fun powder blue card panel in the back out of the cherry embossing folder, and then we're going to have fun, I think, putting cherries just all over the front of the card. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to do is I'm going to trim down this panel, and let's see here. I am going to trim it. Let's first get it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which should be there. Okay, so here is a standard A2 panel, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to further trim that down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and now what I want to do is run it through my embossing folder. So I'm going to place it right inside of here, and I'm just going to place it where I'd like it. That looks good. And I can confirm when I shut the folder if I like where the cherries are, and that looks fine to me. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to run this through my Platinum 6, which is just off camera. Okay, I ran that through. And then I can take it out and look at that pretty texture we have there. Very subtle, very quiet, but we have a really fun little background that we can display on our card. Okay, so I'm done with that. Now I get to do the tedious task of cutting out a bunch of little cherries. And I want to do the smaller of the options. So you have some nice big ones, but then there are some smaller ones as well that I think will be super cute. So I'm going to do the smaller ones and get them all cut out with the little stems. So I have all of my pieces cut out. I saved some dies that I might need to use some more. And I actually ended up using the bigger cherries too. They ended up not being as large as I thought they were going to be. So what I'm going to do is I grabbed a little peach color for the back side. I thought that was super cute, just to have that poking through. Or you could also do that as a front cherry if you didn't want the little highlight mark there. But I'm going to grab some glue and just start gluing all of this together, and then I'm going to work on placement. I do have my die cut machine right off to the side in case I need to get any more cherries cut out, because I do want a lot of them, but I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to need at this point. Okay, I'm gonna move all of this to the side and give this a little breather because I need to do a sentiment just to see what I'm gonna do in terms of placement here. I find that I kind of need everything at this point to decide if I need more cherries or where I need to go with this card. So I'm going to grab that should be fine, little scrap piece, and I'm gonna stamp out this Your Cherry Nice. Oh, perfect. Right on this scrap. And I think I'm gonna do it out of a black. I think that'll be pretty. It also could be really pretty with gold embossing powder, so I might do that. Yeah, let's do that. And I'll do it out of this white. I think that would be super pretty. So what I need to do instead is I need to take some anti-static powder and I'm going to just neutralize my paper. This makes it so that my embossing powder, once I sprinkle it on, it's only going to stick to where the letters are. Let's move this all over a little bit so we can see everything. But I have some Versamark. Stamp that over the stamp and press down. Okay, it's hard to see, I know. Just do the best you can. And there we go. Okay, I'm gonna see if I got that good. I think I did. Okay, let me remove this from my MISTI, and I'll clean off my stamp in just a minute, but I wanna zoom with my embossing powder. And I'm just gonna grab a little clip. That way I can hold on to it and grab it easier. I have a gold fine detail embossing powder. Let's sprinkle that over my letters. Yeah, I think this was a good choice. Tap that off, do a little bit more. Okay, and then with my heat tool, I can heat this up and melt the powder. Before that, I'll make sure to save all of my extra embossing powder. There we go. Okay, isn't that so pretty? I love it, and it's just the perfect tone for this card. Okay, now put this little clip away. Let me grab the coordinating die that came with this set, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out with my die cut machine. Let's see, which way is it supposed to go here? There we go. Oh, I love that. That is such a good choice. Now, the only thing I'm wondering is if I should take off the small cherries. That's why I need to get my sentiment on there to see what I want to do. Pop out our little sentiment. So cute. Okay, that helped. Now I can see how much room I have to play with. And, oh, cute. Okay. Yes, I do want to keep the small cherries, I believe. All right, let's get playing with placement. Okay, I'm liking something like this. I don't mind when things fall off the side of the card because I like that chopped look, and we are going to do some chopping here. So I am going to add, I do like the little cherries as well. I'm just going to start gluing everything where they belong. And then another thing that I'm going to do though really quickly is my little background here. Actually, should I just put my, nope, I can't put my background on the card yet. I was gonna say I could put this on a card base to help it from curling. Sometimes when you do an embossing folder, it kind of curls the card, or the paper, excuse me. And so I'm just gonna tape that down while I'm playing around here. And then we will go ahead and get that, let's zoom in a little bit. We will get that all on a card base in a little bit. And the reason I don't want to do it now is because I'm going to be placing things off of the card. As you can see, this leaf is off the card, and I'm going to need to chop off the sides before I get it glued down to the card base. Okay, I know I want those there, so I'm just going to start getting everything placed and we will finish up the card. All right, so I did end up, I'm gonna do another little layer underneath my sentiment here. And this is because my paper is just a little bit kind of warpy from, warpy, is that a word? It's kind of warped from doing the heat embossing. So I'm going to add some structure behind it, also just to give it a little oomph as well. A lot of weird words coming into the video today, but I'm loving how this is coming together. Okay, and you can remedy this also with some foam adhesive, but I know that I'm not going to have foam adhesive all over the back here because I'm layering it on the cherries. Okay, so have that all lined up just nice. Your cherry nice. Okay, I'm going to get the sentiment placed on there so that we know where that is going to go. And then I can figure out the rest of my little cherries, because I can kind of nestle them between and behind to finish this up. So I'll add my foam squares, and then what I'll do is kind of around here, and I know I won't need them glue everywhere, but around here I'm going to do a little bit of glue for where it could meet and stick on those cherries. Wherever it doesn't, it'll just dry, but I like the idea of having that kind of stick down. Oh, I like that. Okay. Stick down there. There we go. I'm gonna let that sit for just a second. The more I look at this though, the more I don't want to chop off. I kind of think it'd be cute to have this be a super dimensional card. Now, what I want to do is maybe put this cherry there, which I know I like. So let's go ahead and do that. A tiny little one for this leaf. I'm gonna just tuck this one right under like that. Okay, love that. And then this one just kind of up there like so. I think that's super cute. Okay, here we go. And I'll add a little foam adhesive. Maybe I'll even split that in half. And I'm going to add a little tiny piece of foam adhesive. You saw me do it earlier, just to build up that stem. And then I can put the leaves on there. Okay, so it worked to have the duo and then the single in the big, duo, single in the small. I like how that looks. Okay, and there's the last of our little cherries. Okay, and then I'm just building up a little bit of foam adhesive behind my little leaves, just so that they don't sink on the card and that they're nice and supported. Great, I love how this looks. It's so cute. Okay, let's get it on a card base and then decide if we want to do any chopping. I'm kind of thinking I don't, except for I want to remedy that stem right up at the top there, because I'm assembling it with the idea of trimming down the sides, but I don't know that I will. Or you know what I could do is I could allow it to interact with the card base, but then chop it from there, which would be super cute. Like I could do the chop here, which would be fun. I might do that. I have my score buddy all ready. I have 110-pound cardstock this time, and it's gonna fold at the top for my card. So I'm gonna have 11 by 4 1/4, and I'll score it at 5 1/2, just like that. And I'm gonna fold and press that down. Then let's open this up, and first and foremost, at least get the panel on there. Yeah. Okay, with some foam tape, I will bump up my card just a tad bit more. I know this one has a lot of dimension, but this card can handle it. I love it. Also, I know it's quiet, but the cherries in the background are so pretty. There's something that you probably aren't appreciating on camera as much as in person, but definitely worth it for that little folder. I'm gonna grab my pokey tool once more. Go just to pull those up. and place this down. Okay, now I can see where all my little pieces are. Oh, I actually don't mind that little piece up at the top. It's kind of neat to allow them to interact there. I think the only one I am going to trim is this one over here. I do think that these are okay. They're really fun, but I think I'll trim this one. And I'm just going to use some scissors just to do that. Oh, I love that. That is so cute. Let's see, should I do any more? I love the cherry here. I'm trying to visualize what it would look like trimmed a little bit. Oh, it could be cute though. Okay, hold on. You know me, I really do love that element of having them trimmed down at the end. I end up always loving it. But, yes, that's it. Yep. But I do like that I allowed it to go into that white card base. I think it really includes it and makes it fun. Okay, I do think I will trim this little guy with some tiny little scissors, only because I wasn't being intentional about that up there. And I don't want that to look odd. Okay, there we go. Yep. That looks so good. Let's finish it off with a little bit of sequins just to give a couple little bright spots to this card. This peach sequence is a natural choice for this card. It's so pretty and warm. And I think I'll tuck one under here and then do a duo and a duo. So again, just kind of tuck. Make that look intentional there. And I'll do a medium and a small, and then a medium and a small. Right there as well. And there is my final card. Isn't that so fun? It's so fresh. It just screams summertime. I love it so much. So everything I used will be linked down below. Thanks so much for watching this. It was so fun to put together. I had my moments where I was thinking, is this even gonna turn out? But it ended up being so cute and I love it. All right, everyone, I'll see you in the next one. Let me know how much you love this card.